All right, good morning, everybody. Um, Looking forward to another game on Thursday. Obviously, a good team coming to town with South Dakota. Well coached. They won a very big game for their program to go on the road and beat Illinois State. I know it was a tall task, and to get down 17-0 and score 27 unanswered points and force 7 turnovers. That's really good effort by their team. I think they're a defense that plays with a lot of energy and effort, and was very impressed offensively. They have a freshman quarterback that has a lot of skill. He made plays with his feet and was able to make all the throws. And he's from that area where he went to play, so I'm sure he was excited to play there, and he'll be excited to play. And we expect a tough game on Thursday. Looking back to Saturday, I was really proud of our guys. The way we responded in the game, we gave up some big plays that we got to correct, but we were able to handle it emotionally. And then the second half, I felt like we just kept grinding, and South Dakota State was what we expected, a big physical team that's really hard to move the ball against, and we just made plays at key points to flip field position, and our special teams played a big part in the result. And also we limited our penalties. We were only penalized one time in the game, and that was real helpful.
Yeah, Coach. What are the challenges that are presented with a short week? As a coach, what are you looking at?
Well, I think we talked right away after the game. You got to be able to handle a good win, which we felt it was a good win on Saturday. They're all good wins. They're hard to come by. You got to earn them. And for us, the quick turnaround is physically. It was a real physical game, so we got to try to get our bodies feeling the best we can by Thursday. You're 2 days short on that process, but our sports medicine staff will work hard. But the big thing is also emotionally. We really had to get focused yesterday and start with prep day number 1 for USD. And we normally have Monday off, but we were on the practice field this morning again early, and I think that's the challenge for our guys, just to really focus on our preparation. Our team has been really pretty good at focusing on preparation and eliminating outside noise up to this point, and that's why I think we've been able to handle some of these low points in games and some of the high points in games, and we still need to get better at all that because we're always looking for improvement. But the real challenge is just physically and emotionally how you're handling this situation, Tom.
Hey, Bubba, what is Otis Way and Luke Scope now? What's that 1-2 combination like been for you guys in the backfield so far?
Yeah, I think it's a good changeup. They're different style runners. Luke, not a very big guy, and has some pretty good speed, but he's tough. We like him because he doesn't shy away from contact, and he's able to run between the tackles. And I thought his short yardage runs were good the other day. And and Otis, he can bring some speed and real toughness. He's a real solid, and he's put together, has great balance. He's hard to knock off his feet, but those two guys, showed some real toughness the other day. They took some shots. Jackrabbits hit us, and we were able to, withstand that. But, that's going to be a tough recovery for running backs when you carry the ball against those teams that really are real physical. And, Dalton will get in the mix there too. Dalton Gee, we didn't get him a whole lot of carries the other day, but you need to have everybody ready in that position group. But we like what Otis and Luke are bringing to our team at this point.
Coach, you mentioned all the turnovers South Dakota was able to generate. What's going to be the key to not allow that to happen here their second time out?
Yeah, I think, you need to be able to run the football and secure it when you run it. And that's got to be an everyday thing. We work hard on it in practice, and up to this point, our guys have done a good job of that. And I think protecting the quarterback is another thing that helps you. And I really believe that Tommy's made some real good decisions when it's time to throw the ball away. He throws it away. Other times he puts it in a spot that only our guy's the guy that's going to catch it. And if he overthrows it a bit, you live with it. But we've been pretty good that way, and I think, we're going to have to be good because South Dakota really pursues to the ball, and they're stripping and reaching and grabbing for it, and they do an excellent job at creating those turnovers.
Matt Waletzko, Bubba, just what does he mean to be kind of that left tackle, so to speak, anchor on the offensive line so far?
Yeah, he's played very well. He's grading out high in our first 2 games, and he's pretty mobile for a big, lanky guy, and made a big block on the perimeter for us, and he's been doing a good job in pass protection. But what I really love about Matt, he's pretty even keel. We saw him display a little emotion the other day, which is awesome, but he's pretty even keel, and he goes about his business day after day, and he's real consistent, and that's what makes him a consistent performer and good student of the game, works hard, watches video on his extra time. He's what you're looking for in an offensive lineman because he really loves to play. And the one thing that I think he's become this year more than ever before, he's played more physical, and we needed to see that out of him, and he's responded and done that.
Hey, Coach, what's allowed Tommy to be so comfortable at QB so far?
Well, his personality, he's pretty even keel. If you want to be around a guy that doesn't get too high or get too low, he's the guy. Every day we see the same guy. Saturday, once again, he took some shots, and there was one that was really a tough shot, and he bounces right back up, and he just seems to handle those situations pretty well. If he makes a mistake, he made late in the first half, he made a couple throws that he felt he should get in there, and he shows it just a little bit, but boy, it does not bother him very long, and that's a great attribute for him because he's able to handle those situations and not get rattled, and that's what we really like about him. But it's basically how he is throughout the day, Tommy. And if you see him in the position meetings and around the team, it's what you see out there is what you're going to get day after day. Pretty even keel and not too high and not too low.
Hey, Bub, I know we kind of talked about on Saturday with special teams, but now 40 hours removed from Saturday, going back through the tape one more time, what do you see from your guys on that side of the ball to make a difference against SDSU?
Yeah, really good execution by our guys. And, Sean Kostic is our special teams coordinator, and he does an excellent job of studying and looking for things that we can gain an advantage. And, along with the rest of the coaching staff, Coach Reinholtz is in charge of our PAT field goal block, and Coach Schwensfire is our punt block, and just our guys went out and executed. Graham DeVore gets a blocked field goal, which is a big play in the game. Ty Shannon, a block punt, and then I felt, Cade and Garrett made a good play on the fake punt that gave us some momentum. So, the guys put together a good plan, present it to the players, and it really comes down to the players executing. And, and even on some of those, it isn't just, there's little subtle things too. Our long snapper made the right block on the fake and just executed that really well. So, those things are things we got to keep looking for and continue to do. We want to win the special teams battle each and every week, and hopefully we can stay solid in that phase of the game.
Bubba, I asked you kind of a similar question last week regarding adjustments. It seemed like your team 2 weeks in a row now have really made fantastic halftime adjustments that come out in the second. And Dominic, what did you see this week against SDSU? You were allowed to flip the script and have a successful second half.
Well, defensively we just had to eliminate the big play. The big pass plays really hurt us, and they have good players and good personnel, and they beat us a couple times in some one-on-one situations, so we had to help in that area. And they came out and hit another big one, but after that really no more big plays, and we were able to tackle well, so the guys are into the game and fitting the right gaps in the run game, and then we were able to get pressure on the passer. Good job by the coaches to give us a good plan at halftime, and then the guys got to come out and execute it. But I felt, at the beginning of the game, we were maybe a little too hyped up, and that can hurt you at times. You got to be at the right emotional level, and I thought we were at a better spot in the second half, even though we were down. And then, offensively, I thought we did a good job of sticking with the plan and kind of chipping away, and a short yardage play that we took advantage of that, and trying to get a big play to flip the field position. Our guys executed that well, and then the tough runs inside the 5-yard line. Man, those are hard yards against a really good physical team, and our guys responding in those situations just to play tough. And that was what I was probably most proud of our team in the second half. We really played tough and were physical and really challenged our opponent to stop us. And we can still get better at that, but our guys have really responded to that challenge.
You've won 9 games in a row now at home, going back to the 2018 season. What do you attribute that home success to that you've had over the last couple of years?
Yeah, our guys are maybe a bit comfortable at home, knowing the setting, and the crowd helps us, so it's not automatic. You still got to go out and make the plays, but we seem to have been making plays and having a real good belief when things aren't going well that we can dig ourselves out of the rut a little bit, and when things are going well, we build off that momentum. So it's probably just those surroundings. We're comfortable in those surroundings, and we got to be that way again Thursday too. Not really comfortable, but really able to get after it and familiar with that Alaris Center. But we think it is a great place to play, and we love playing in there, and our guys have done a pretty good job of that in this stretch.
One cool thing post-game on Saturday, in that home environment, seeing the guys come over and be able to have those moments after a big win with their family, that was special. I know you were kind of walking through the area. What does that make you feel when you see your guys get to celebrate big wins like this with people who have supported them their entire life? That's got to be a cool thing for you and the staff.
Yeah, winning's fun. I mean, we all want to win, and that's part of the experience. And then, Alex, the one thing as a coach, you sometimes say, hey, we got to celebrate this, and we always talk to our guys. I remember years ago, George Allen, he was one of my favorite coaches to watch interact with his team on the old NFL films, and he was always big about, hey, allow yourself to celebrate a victory, yet you got to somehow put a time on it, and then you got to get back to an emotional level that you're preparing for the next game. But for our players to be able to share that with family and friends, I think that's a whole lot of fun. You just love to see it.
And then last one from me, it's your second straight week against a rivalry opponent. It's your second straight week against a coach who you know very well and have a long history with. Talk about now just your thoughts on facing Bob Nielsen coming up this week.
Yeah, obviously a lot to Bob Nielsen. He gave me my first head coaching opportunity at Duluth, so that's a personal thing that I'll always be appreciative of, and of Bob and the University of Minnesota Duluth, and got a lot of respect for him. He's won a lot of games. Wherever he's been, he's won games and done a very good job, and he knows football. And then it comes down to preparing against a team that's well coached, and they play hard, and then you got to prepare your team and go against them. So once the game starts, it's like coaching any other game, but leading up to it, you obviously have personal relationships, and that changes it a bit. But once again, you just got to stay focused on what the task is at hand.
Coach, with the 2-0 start your team has, how is the Valley competition just suited how your team has played so well?
It was very tough. We felt it was going to be very tough. It's really physical, and we know every week is just going to be a real challenge to prepare for the teams, because they're well coached and they play a real physical brand of football. So it's really tough, and we've got to be able to move on one day at a time. And we put day by day in our shirts back in 2014, and boy, if it ever means something, it's right now. We better stay focused one day at a time and especially now when we came off a real physical game and getting ready for another physical opponent and on a short week. And it's what we expected, just really tough, hard-nosed football teams.
Back to Alec, what he was talking about, Alex, in terms of enjoying victories. Can you just talk about what's it like going into the post-game a locker room, and how did the gritty kind of become a thing here at this spring in terms of enjoying the win?
Yeah, the gritty, I don't know. I guess there's improvement. We maybe made a little improvement there, but how it came about, after our first week when we won, I get down the hallway and Coach Freund goes, "Hey, you got to do this." So he gave me I had seen it before, obviously, watching the NFL this year, but he gave me a quick lesson, and it wasn't very good, and it's still not very good, but we're working on improving. A lot of fun. I guess I want to have a little fun with the guys once in a while, and we're having fun with it. And then once again, you get in there and you have a little fun, and then you tell them, "Hey, we got to get focused and get back to business and get back to work for another tough opponent."
We're working on something for the Memorial Stadium since the news has come out that they'll be doing something sooner than later. So can you just tell me, what does that stadium mean to you in UND football?
Well, for me, it's a bit personal. The first time I was ever in that stadium, I was in 6th grade when my oldest brother was on the team up here at UND, and I walked into that stadium. For me, it was like going to the LA Coliseum or wherever. This was just awesome for a kid that grows up in North Dakota, and to be able to sit in there and watch a game. And I remember Coach Jerry Olson and his team. I was looking over the edge of the stadium when they came charging out in the field, and those years they only had about 55 guys on the team, but to me that looked like an army of 200, because coming from a small town. And so that's my first memory. And then came up to some games after that, when the stadium was packed. And I remember when the administrators wore those green jackets, they all had them. It was Jerry Hammerlick and Jerry Kavit, and Carl Miller was the AD, and just seeing those guys. And then the meetings with the families in between Hislop and Memorial Stadium was all grass at that time. There was no overpass, and those were neat memories to see, like the Deutsch family meeting Bill Deutsch, or the Kosowski family, and there's just so many names of guys that I remember greeting their families after the game. And then when I got an opportunity to coach here in '89, to get up into the football offices and interview with Roger Thomas, and that was really a big deal to me. So these memories go on and on. To be in that stadium, I just felt like, wow, this is something else, to have this opportunity. Then I was fortunate enough to get hired as a graduate assistant back in '89, and Rob Bollinger and Dale Lennon, that staff, they were just awesome to work with and to learn from.
What was it like every time you had left and maybe came back to get a full-time job, and left and came back to get this head coaching job, coming back into that stadium for the first time?
Yeah, the head coaching job, first when I was hired as a full-time assistant, I drove back from the state Class B basketball tournament and met with Coach Thomas on a Saturday. And when he informed me that I was hired, I was just obviously really excited about the opportunity. And at that time, I thought I knew about everything, and then I had to really come off my high horse and keep learning from Roger and Dale and Rob Bollinger and Jeff Tesh, and all those guys were such good people to learn from. And then, left for Duluth and Southern Illinois, and when I came back with the opportunity to be the head coach, it was very emotional for me, because to me, this is not like any opportunity. This was really special because I grew up in this state, and my oldest brother had played here, and I became a UND fan because of that. And really, to walk up and said it a lot, to walk into that head coach's office, always wanted to do it right because of the guys that came before, Gene Murphy and Whitey Helling and Roger and Dale, and just really wanted to do it right and felt like, this university and this program deserved the very best effort from the guy that sits in that chair.
And my last one is on that chair or on the desk. Can you tell me what's it like coaching behind that desk? And I heard it's been there since 50 plus years. And did you ever try to move it?
Well, that desk has been there a long time, and I have to believe that the office was built around it, because there's no way it's getting out the door. I don't know. I think it was upstairs, and that's when they built the offices. I don't recall the year that they did that. The office complex was up there on that second floor. But, yeah, it's quite a walk up that stairway. It's a lot of steps. And you just, every day coming into that stadium was really special, whether you're an assistant or a graduate assistant. But I think it gave me a new appreciation for the program when I got this opportunity, and walking up those stairs and into that office and seeing that desk and knowing that some great men, sat in that desk and really did a lot for this university and this program. It's pretty awesome to get that opportunity.